Show's going. All right, all right. How's everyone out there in YouTube world? And I just got us over to Facebook. So we're on YouTube. We're on Facebook tonight live. Bob's back, Biker News Canada. Continuing with my favorite part of the whole channel is the interview series. So I always like to talk to somebody in the motorcycle community, and we're going to talk to Liam today. Liam's been doing a bunch of stuff. He's setting himself up to get involved with charitable events, and he's building a cool motorcycle to go with it, and a bunch of stuff. So we're going to get in all that. And of course, we're going to keep on top of the chat too. Hello, Stacks. How are you, Billy? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for dropping in with me today. So, yeah, without any further ado, let's say hello to Liam. Hey, brother, how are you?
Hey, Bob. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
No problem. So what is the what's the meat and potatoes of what you're trying to put together with what you're doing?
Well, I guess I could summarize it with how it began, which was about 2 years ago. I was riding with the Abate Club, and we participated, my father and I, and we raised just under $19,000 for sick kids. And the Abate guys out of Kitchener and the surrounding areas are amazing fellas. And we got chatting and really inspired my dad and I. We were a bit of the oddballs out. Everyone's with the big Harley Davidsons. My father loves his Gold Wings. He's been driving Gold Wings for over 45 years. And we were on the pair of Gold Wings. And we thought we would be, looked down upon, but exact opposite. We were greeted, and it was an amazing experience for my father and I. Anyways, I had this idea for the sick kids. I'm a huge Batman fan, as you can see up here. I wanted to make a Batman motorcycle. So that's what I'm doing now. And through the community, through Biker News Canada and all the other great forums that are out there, I've been blessed with donations and support. It's just been amazing. So the meat and potatoes is I'm building a Batman motorcycle out of a Gold Wing, and I'm going to call it the Batwing. So that's why I've called it Project Batwing.
Nice.
So,
now when you get the motorcycle built, like what's your plan? Are you going to do your own events? Are you going to contact other events that you see that are coming around and offer to come and partake, or a little of everything?
All the above, Bob. Like currently now, I'm riding a 1100 1981 Gold Wing. It's a great bike. It looks great, but it doesn't have the flavor that I'm looking for as Batman. Although that being said, I have a full motorcycle Batman suit. It has level 1 protection on it, and it's full leather. So it gives you that real support when you're driving. It's not a racing suit by any means, but this present having the Batman suit, it's just behind me here, really gives the kids an essence of what it's going to be like, entirely, right? So with this idea of having the Batman bike, I'd like to have an event that would be the ultimate goal. I would like to have more Batmen and Batwomen and Batgirls, whatever.
Well, that was funny because there was a post there, and I don't think it was from you, or was it from you? And we got talking about it, and it seemed like there was another guy who does a Batman thing in the Niagara area. Or was that you happen to be down there at an event?
No, I believe you're talking about the Brampton Batman. So the Brampton Batman is quite world famous, and I had the pleasure of meeting him this year. And he's not into the motorcycles, but he drives the 1989 Batmobile, which is one of my favorite Batmans. So and he does exactly what I'm all about. He's charity events, supporting the community. I met him at a local comic venue out of I think it was Gotham Central Comics in Mississauga. And it was just an amazing experience to meet someone, with the Batman suit and everything and doing the same vibe. So hopefully we'll get that guy involved with the community and stuff. I'm going to several events in Kitchener. I've been to little events like, Mom's calling me up for lemonade stands.
Oh, that's cool.
So it goes from
Get
the
you out
real
there though.
small to the
That's
real
cool,
big.
man. Yeah, but that's cool. Even those little events, they get you out there. They get you known.
Yeah, and I think we've chatted about this because I'm all about raising money for charity, and it's a mission for me. So you're supporting my mission that I support charities. I'm working on this motorcycle. I'm not Bruce Wayne. I'm not full of money. So that was kind of the idea, and it's hard to get your name out there without this kind of day and age with the internet and scamming and things like that.
That's a
So again, one of the
problem.
reasons why I go from the very those little ones are as important as the big ones to get my name out there. I have toys, and I have a friend that 3D prints me batarangs. I have batarangs
Oh, that's
hanging up
cool.
there.
Yeah.
Um, to some special kids that are brave enough to come up to me. So again, there's a lot of facets to what I do here,
And
right?
and and, and it's tough with
It's
fundraising because I remember one time you asked me a question over messaging about making a GoFundMe,
yeah,
and I was like, if I was you, I'd hold off because even myself, I put in the Facebook group one time that financial insecurity, and actually it's happening. I'm losing my house as we speak. So
yeah.
you know what I mean? Some people did donate. I love you all for doing it, but a lot of people, oh, that's a scam. This guy's an asshole. And I'm like, wow, man, I pulled it off the group right away. So
Yeah,
that's why I advise you don't start with the GoFundMe yet. Work into the GoFundMe later. You
yeah.
know,
There's a bit of a strategy to doing this nowadays. It's not the good old days of the way you could run these charities, and people have taken advantage of charities and
that's
charity
the problem.
businesses.
There's been too many people took an advantage, and now people don't trust the people that are straightforward.
Yeah, and
It's,
you're feeling the brunt of that too, right? And I'm doing this for just for raising money for the love of it, and when it comes down to something serious is what you're in. That's yeah, like
yeah.
and besides the negative things, I think we'll focusing on like the people that support you. That's what
Well,
we have this
absolutely.
community
Yeah.
for, right?
And,
And I'm
and,
proud
and
to be a part of Biker News Canada, and I'm a moderator on there. I do my best to
no, I
help people
appreciate
out
all
and
your
stuff.
guys' help because I'd never take care of that group all by myself. It's we're almost 10,000, and you guys have really helped a huge amount. I couldn't thank you enough. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
it's
been
a
big.
growing community, and we're trying to keep it Canadian, and that's really important to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it
And
Canadian and about motorcycles.
about motor exactly about motorcycles, and there's a lot of facets to it, and Bob and I were just talking about the fact of like it's kind of a quirky person like myself to do something like this, but it kind of attracts motorcycles attract all sorts of different people, and I'm trying to represent motorcycles in a very good way, like the safest way. And you can't really get away with lane filtering and lane splitting and being a bit of a dickhead on the motorcycle,
Yeah,
because all it takes is silver motorcycle dressed as bloody Batman. I
exactly.
have ears on my bloody helmet.
But the nice thing about your area where you live is too bad Blackstock closed because they had a lot of good events at Blackstock.
Oh
I
really?
was
Yeah.
sorry to see them go.
Oh yeah.
Um, but there's tons of bike nights. What were you saying? Like north of Kitchener. So you got all those areas up there, right?
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
new one at a place called Alexandria. Is that close to you up there?
No, that would be a little bit of a drive, but we're in bloody Canada. I'm going to be driving wherever the heck I need to, and
Exactly.
again, hence why I'm on. It's kind of an everyday's motorcycle, the Goldwing. The thing will run all day, and
Right.
my bike's one of those naked bikes. It doesn't have fairings on it, and really, it's a real head turner, and it's a comfortable bike too. So getting around, I don't mind.
Need to hook you
But
up with a guy like Lee Sipes. He's the guy who did the Bad Living Road show.
okay,
He's a fabricator.
yes, yes.
That's what
So
you need. And then in the winter, you can do a teardown if you want.
that's what I'm looking at now. So I do have a little bit of like I used to once a blacksmith, always a blacksmith. And I was more into bars and bar metal, not sheet metal, which is a different animal,
It's
right?
a different animal. You need the pounders and
So
the
there's
rollers and all
cold
that
work,
stuff.
hot work. You need to know when to be doing this kind of stuff. I do know a blacksmith out of Floordale here. He's just north of Kitchener, and he does armor. So But I much rather support a biker community, people that are
Yeah.
interested in bikes and getting to know other people interested in this stuff.
It's
Um,
too bad you're not in London. I know a guy, and he's been on walkers since I've known him, but
okay.
he rides. He's never stopped riding. He had a construction accident, something severed his spine, and that was that, right?
Yeah.
But he's never stopped riding. So he's got one of those English pounding wheels. You know
Oh,
those English pounding wheels
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
that bend the metal? He makes his own sidecars, and that's how he continues to ride. The sidecar holds the bike up.
Yeah, of course. That's awesome. That's
But,
yeah,
but you
that
know,
that would be a person again I'd love to get in touch with. And again, anyone listening, it's like, you get out in touch with me personally. It's what I'm looking for, community support. And,
yeah,
like I'm not here, just for donations. I know things do cost money at certain points. So like,
yeah.
yeah, like I'm here, as a reasonable person, right? Like, and yeah, like that's the next step, which I'm super excited about. It's like, what's this bike going to look like now?
Yeah,
I've
man.
done a little like sketch on my Facebook page there, and I got a lot of good responses from it. But as an artist, you're always wanting to change things. I'm looking at, the Harley Davidsons. They have these big, beautiful saddlebags that sweep down, covering the
Yeah,
wheel.
yeah.
It almost looks like a cape. I've had a lot of people send me like,
Oh,
inspiration and stuff.
yeah, yeah. That's a good idea. You could make the side view look like a cape, couldn't you?
Yeah, so and that's the other thing. People keep asking me about the bloody cape, right? And you're like,
It,
no, it's not happening. My grandmother was a seamstress for Cirque du Soleil, and I had a chance to chat with her. And it's not as simple as throwing a piece of a towel around your neck.
right,
Like
right. Yeah,
there's a
yeah. Like
certain
when you're a
element of
kid. Yeah,
there's engineering to it and stuff. So
and
maybe
they're
one
heavy.
day I might do, ride around with a cape for an event, come in,
They,
but I'm not going down the highway like that. Like,
I would think they'd be heavy after a while, pulling
yeah,
on you.
yeah. And like, I
Yeah,
don't, there's not going to be much of a fairing on this bike. So I'm going to be facing the wind on this motorcycle. So you have to be practical. And again, it's up in there. We'll see what happens with it. I'm really focusing on the bike as it speaks, because I
yeah,
have
yeah.
the suit. It's perfect for what I need. I have a new helmet this year, and now I'm really just focusing on this motorcycle that I'm going to do. So I've just, yeah, again, through this charitable act where people are just so.
Oh, where did you go, bro? Somebody's trying to phone India. I bet you. It's okay. I'll wait here for you. You'll be back. If you have to, go out and come back, Liam. I don't know if you can hear me or not. There you are. You'll be back in a minute. It's okay. I wanted to look in here anyway. I wanted to see. So while we're waiting for Liam, we'll show. He'll be back in a second. I'll show you some of the stuff. We're just doing a little technical difficulty with Liam on his end. Like I said, it's what happens with cell phones. Sometimes somebody tries to phone in, or your alarm that you set goes off, and you kind of get disconnected. So this is what he's looking like right now with his bike and his outfit and stuff. Oh, you did take the ferry right now.
There you go.
You-
Yeah, you were 100% writing saying what you just said.
It happens. I've been doing. Because most of the people on the other end for me use their cell phone.
Yeah,
So
I need to use my computer. I should have jumped on the computer. I'm just in my garage though. I thought it'd be a little bit better. You can kind of see a little bit of what I'm doing here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that video turned out cool.
Yeah, yeah. Just my wife was in the film industry, and she gave me a bit of hands, and she's the camera operator there. Again, it's a full on community based effort here.
You did take the
um,
fairing right off that bike. Eh? I've never seen a Goldwing with the fairing taken off.
like I said, Bob, it's a bit of a head turner. The bike, when you kind of look at it, that parallel four engine there, it sticks out like that boxer. So
Yeah,
without the cowling, without the fairing covering it, all those plastics,
it looks
it
cool,
stands
right?
out.
Yeah,
It's a great looking bike, and with a bit of finesse, I think you have the mind's eye to see it, right? There's some real potential with the Goldwing to be a real cool looking Batman bike. So,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. Just and the funny thing is with all the Batman movies and shows and episodes that they've done, they changed their motorcycle almost every time they did a movie.
yeah, yeah, I've done my homework on it, not as just a Batman nerd, but for my own sake as a motorcyclist and designing a bike. Again, I'm no engineer or anything. I'm really trying to humbly take this project, um, upon me. And yeah, like there's a lot of different Batman motorcycles. First one was a Harley Davidson. The second one was like a Yamaha 250.
Oh,
Um,
250, eh?
yeah, a little 250, and then obviously the newer Batman, Bat Pod, whatever you want to call it, was a custom bike, and that was an interesting thing with the cape. The stunt coordinator had issue with that, so yeah, it's kind of an interesting. Again, going back to the cape, not to grind that down. It's a it's a bit of a pain in the butt, so it's not something worth to go try out. I don't suggest anyone to ride around with a cape.
Look at all the different iterations they've had. That one there, I think I've seen, but you couldn't build that and ride it down the road, I don't think.
Yeah, so that's the Bat Pod. That's the one I was just chatting about. Yeah, so there is a YouTube channel that's successfully done something quite similar with
There it
big nubby
is.
tires.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the laws down in the States are. If they're a bit, I'm imagining they're a bit more lax on this one. But they did get it roadworthy. I don't imagine, yeah, that position being a comfortable ride,
No, no.
um, nor a safe ride. So I think again, I'm going a bit more traditional, and I'm going to do my best to, put my own flair on it. It'll be a head turner
Well,
for sure.
and that's the thing that's better than trying to reproduce something. And I think it's better to give it your own flavor, your own personality.
Yeah, again, I've really chatted to quite a few people. I have a lot of friends, in the video game world, and I've thrown it at them. And there's some interesting, like pretty much ultimately that we've come to the conclusion: you make it your own, man. This is your
Yeah.
project. You make it your own. And like I don't have the ego attached to it. I kind of like the anatomy. You don't know who's in the helmet kind of thing. So I kind of appreciate that, not to be, essentially on stage all the time. I have the helmet to hide behind. But yeah, it's one of these projects that's become yeah, quite all consuming right now, just because of the support. I don't want to let people down, from the
Oh, that's
gracious,
cool.
donations. Like I'm so fueled to get, this fired up, and I've kind of given myself 2 years as uh, like a time frame for this to be completely finished. I think that's reasonable. And the 2 years reason is for Port Dover. So I attended Port Dover this year, which was absolute chaos. So maybe some people viewing might have seen me there. And I'd like to kind of set up there as a bit more of, a stand, right? A feature. So
Right, right.
I'm going to get in touch with those guys once I've really got this build looking like it should, not just here. That's the idea. I want to get there so people kind of look at it. And same with, the ultimate goal of I'd like to get to sick kids and visit them and have an event there.
Yeah,
Maybe that would be a part of the Batman ride we could do.
yeah.
And we could have the kids, that
Do
are able to come out
do a
and
ride around the loop or something. Yeah,
yeah, and check the bikes out, pictures, all that kind of great stuff. And again, it's all about supporting the community. I think nowadays, in the last 5, 6 years, it's been really shit for community. A lot of people have gone downhill and really, kind of clenched themselves in. And I think I've seen a lot of people open up with this, and it's just, I think I want to be a part of that change. And again,
yeah,
being a
yeah.
part of this, this is it, right? Like this is what you got to do. So.
It's come along better. I see every summer it gets more people out there and active again, and the motorcycle community is always a big caring community. But
Yeah.
but the only thing you got to watch for, and this is just a little piece of from what I've learned from these interviews, is when you're trying to do charity stuff, you end up going out of pocket. You always end up going out of, because the next thing you know, you have the bike put together, and then the next thing you know, if you want to go to Port Dover, you're gonna want a tent with some tables and some tablecloths with your stuff on it, and then you're gonna want, and then you're gonna want, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just part of it
yeah,
because you know you want to grow, right? You want to grow and do whatever you can do.
yeah, and that's kind of the realization I've come to now. Like I think it's it's not in for the money. I said right off the bat, it's for the
Mhm.
kids, and it's for the kids at heart too, like myself. Um, that's what I'm doing it for. I think doing it something for money. I think nowadays I don't think that's the good thing to do for right now. I think doing things, and if I'm out of pocket, but I'm making people smile and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. You only got one shot at this life. This is what I'm gonna do, and people are gonna remember me for one of the reasons, hopefully.
Yeah, man.
This is, and not to be all esoteric about it, but that's how you kind of look at these things. You have to give it your all, right?
Yep.
And you never know. Who knows? Honda might see this. I was riding around a Triumph for my first year, and this is wishful thinking, but you have Dinkleberries on YouTube's getting sponsors.
Yeah.
And they're doing stupid stuff. So
Yeah.
that's not my goal, but that's kind of the realistic fact out there. If I'm doing this, maybe I will be rewarded for what I'm doing, right? So
Exactly. And
um,
then you just kick it right back into the project.
that's what I
Yeah.
mean. And I've actually discussed it with my mom. My mom's actually been a huge influence because she's done a lot of communities like support and raising money for charities. She's gone down to Dominican, Peru, and an inspiration for people like myself to get
She goes
into
for it.
this. And
Yeah.
you watch that as a young person. I'm just turned 32 now, and I think it's carried on now, indirectly, and I'm doing it in my own styles, so to speak. So that's been one key, like a mentorship, chatting about what we're just chatting about, scams and raising money and how to do it appropriately and transparently, and and getting your name out there, and that's kind of coming all from the experience that my mom, I think it was about anywhere from 10 to 15 years, she was doing some serious fundraising. I think she's actually doing fundraising now. So
Wow,
yeah,
man. Good for her. Well,
and she's a biker herself. She has a full license, but she's not actually riding. She's on the back of the Golden with my dad half the time, but
but she's
I would
still
consider her a rider. She definitely
she's
has
into
the
it. She's
miles
in
under
this.
her. So
She's in the scene.
again, like it's you take the advice from wherever you can.
Yeah.
I've sold bits and pieces as you do as a motorcyclist, and I met a fella that drives around in a Harley Davidson motorcycle, all painted up with Batman, and I didn't even know. He just came in and he saw all my gear, and he went, "Come on, dude, you got to see my bike." So just
Huh.
those instant connections that just through like that, and I'm I'm actually talking with him on a weekly basis. We're
That's
throwing
cool.
information back and forwards about what we're looking at this motorcycle, because he got really excited about what I was doing. So
That's
again,
really cool.
you don't know where the support comes from, Bob. It
Yeah,
just, you
yeah.
have to be open, and you get the dickheads. You have people say,
Yeah.
grow up, and laughing emojis. Hopefully, it's a good laughing one, but
Yeah.
it really doesn't bother me that much, in the sense
No.
of like the reaction from kids and parents alike, or just good folks in general.
Well,
That just completely trumps it, because there's so many.
yeah, yeah. Well, the good thing is, you got lots of bike nights you can attend
Yeah,
and at least get out there. And then you got the special events like the Comic Con, and
yeah,
those guys in Huntsville do the Comic Con, and they're all bikers too.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I went to Wednesday nights, Perth County Moto in Stratford. Excellent meetup. I highly recommend anyone in the surrounding area, even if you
it's a
have to drive a couple
it's
hours.
a beautiful town too, eh?
100% worth it. They're amazing set of motorcycles coming there. It was a real treat. CBXs and just some real cool looking bikes.
What did they do? Weekly or monthly?
I believe it's weekly,
It's
Perth
weekly.
County Moto, and that's about a 45-50 minute drive for me. So I kind
Nice.
of consider that kind of, I'm at least there at least once or twice a month kind of thing. That's kind of one of the things I'm definitely attending. But again, there's so many things going on. It's hard to keep
Yeah.
track. Like you said, you become out of pocket. I'll become out of pocket because I have to take take time off work. Like,
Well, that's the thing, right? If you work nights, you can't go to a bike night 5 nights a week. You got to have your income.
yeah, Batman's usually driving around during the mornings and afternoons for the kids at the moment. So
Yeah.
I'd like to get before the end. There's a couple, I think the LSR group in London.
Yeah.
They're very awesome people there.
Yeah, they are.
They're mostly like sport bikes, but like they're so welcoming for so many people. And I have to get my ass down there to go and hang out with those guys.
They've been
They
on
were
for an
very
interview.
supportive.
They've
Yeah,
been on for an interview.
yeah, oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Those guys would be a fun.
I had him on for an interview. Sheriff and his buddy Dubai.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another group in London. I've had them on as well.
Yeah, again, like you just don't know. Like again, some people don't even wave at the sports bike or a Harley, whatever. This kind of like I trikes, whatever. I'm waving at people. I love the fact that people are out enjoying the weather and getting out to events. You know, supporting their local motorcycle garages. You know, that's again, without that, like these places like wouldn't exist. You know, and it's a damn shame we had all those Harley Davidson dealerships shut down.
Yeah,
I did it with my wife, my mom, and my father there. The first aid training there, and they do it for free.
that's what I did. I did the biker down first aid training too because I had that guy on for an interview as well.
Yeah, and I think
that's what I've been trying to do: bring all these different sides of the motorcycle community up here and give them a chance to speak and introduce themselves to the world, right?
Yeah, I totally. Yeah. That's again, this is like so. It kind of refines the point of the community, right? Like, so.
And it's giving and it's friendly and it's sharing, and you always do them stories that a guy out on the rolling barrage, his bike broke down Saturday, and the local shop had him on the road by Saturday evening.
Yeah, I'm always there. That's one of those things I learned from my father. You see a motorcyclist on the road, you better pull over or give him the thumbs up. And if that thumb goes down, you better be pulling over.
Right.
Like, so.
And it's funny how people don't know the little things like put your helmet on the ground behind the motorcycle if you need someone to stop for you.
Yeah.
Just those little, you know what I mean? It's something I probably wouldn't have thought of either until I really got going with these groups and stuff.
Yeah. The tips and tricks that I've got, and I'm no like mechanic or anything, but the knowledge that I've like been imparted on from fellas from meets and the odd meet or like whatever Tim Hortons meet for bloody hell, like I think that's like it's an instant connection. Like for me, like I don't look at it any other motorcycle to go, oh, I'm not interested in it. Like I'm always looking at any bike that pops in. So again, leewaying off of that first aid course, it's like I pulled in there with my father in the Honda Goldwings and all the Harley Davidsons, and you're greeted, and especially the staff there. Like I just feel so bad for those guys. Like I've been this year to all three of those dealerships. The staff there were just incredible. Like I just felt so bad for those guys that they were closing down. My heart felt like it was like seriously.
I tracked down who the owner was, and she lives close to me, and I sent her a message, but come on for an interview, but maybe she thought I was going to attack her or whatever, right?
Yeah, no, I hope she watches these because I think a lot of people would like to hear what she has to say, and like the way your style of interviewing is just very casual, just to have a conversation. Like it's as far or near as you want to go with that conversation, right? So
exactly,
and I'm sure a lot of Harley Davidson drivers out there are kind of itching at a couple answers at least if they haven't done the research, and it's just one of those shame things. Like
Rocky's in London was an institution. Every great Harley mechanic in this city has turned wrenches at Harley at Rocky's at one point or another in their career, right?
Yeah. Again, I've seen a couple. I think in Zdeno's Kitchener, they kind of got the the good end of the stick with one of their mechanics coming off of there. I'm not sure that's what it looked like. So
I think I saw a
it's
post
kind
around
of,
London,
they
one of the
kind of
Rockies
scatter,
guys.
right?
Well, they
Yeah.
got to find a home. They still got to make a living too, right?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It sucks because there's a community based around there, and people were depending on it. And it's, again, it's not up to those local people. It's the high heads and Harley Davidson. It's a bloody shame for these guys. And
Yeah.
what are these guys going to do for parts and maintenance? And
Well,
it's
that's
just,
it, right?
I guess a lot of people are going to be tinkering themselves a bit
Well,
more.
well, the good things is that there's like 3 or 4 mom and pop shops around my city that I'll promote because they're mom and pop shops, right?
Yeah,
And the good thing is, out of them, I think all of them can do the Harley warranty work at their shop. So at least
yeah,
you're not stuck. But like you say, people used to go down to these big Harley stores, especially the way they laid out those two, because it looked like the one in Kitchener was laid out similar to London.
yeah,
You
yeah, oh,
know,
yeah.
you walk in and you can talk to this guy for a while and see your buddy over there doing that, and look, you know what I mean. Brogue was holding events there, all that stuff.
Yep, yep, and I remember a couple of the comments when I brought I because my father had never been in there before. Oh, is the coffee free? Yeah, yeah. Have a cup of coffee. There's snacks here. It's not to be taken advantage of, but these guys are putting out a community. You come here, have a cup of coffee, walk around, like you said, have a chat with people. Like that was like I'm gonna miss that. Like, and I feel
Yeah,
bad that this was the only year I got to experience that, and it's just like, it's just, yeah. I hope what we're doing here with like Biker News Canada gives people that facet, and again, gives me the opportunity to do what I'm doing. So I hope it just builds a bit more of the community, like whatever, if that means opening businesses or more meetups or whatever.
yeah,
I think what we're doing is important in that sense. Like, because like you have to make the changes small to make them big, and I think this is an incredible change. Bob and I were just saying, it's like, I think I joined 9 months ago, and that we're about 5,500, and we're breaking 10 grand now. Like
yeah. It's
that's
incredible.
pretty crazy within that short period of time. And that's the season, right? Because everyone gets excited for the season,
Yeah,
starts clicking around and joining groups and finding where their next meet's going to be, right? So
and I like leaving it like an open sounding board. If you got a biker event coming on, post it on the page. And if it's something I don't want to see on the page, I'll take it off, or you'll take it off, or someone will. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I
yeah,
I take down
again,
that guy who was doing his own YouTube channel and coming over to our group. I had to take him off today.
yeah,
He
be
was starting to ask
bombarding.
for he was starting to ask for money.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, that kind of goes against the point of what you're here for. You're here to share
Right.
your information. Again, if your channel starts going crazy and everything, great, good on you, buddy. But like,
Yeah.
this is here for community. We're not here, like, I'm here for charity, and like that's what we were talking about at the beginning. It's like, it's hard to, when you start talking about this, because people automatically think you're lining your pockets, and it's like,
Right.
no, like you have to see like what I'm trying to do here, right? Like, and I think that, documenting it and chatting with people like yourself, it's like, this is how you do it. This is how you get your name out and
Even
get this.
my buddy in Huntsville, he just did a ride on the long weekend for hospice in Huntsville, and he puts a post up on our group, and halfway through the comments, somebody saying, "Oh, how much of the money's actually going to the charity?" Because what happened is, on TV there was a big article, and it made the news and it all blew up, where these big charities have to have a staff. So a
Yeah,
lot of the money that they raise in donations goes to paying their staff, and then people look at that like it's kind of a scam. Well, you can't move tons of food around the world without a staff. It's the way it goes.
yeah. Again, it's like until you've done it and start doing stuff like this, you might not understand. And I think
Right.
it goes for, like, I've been a cook for like 15 years, in and out of, and like, people know how their food is cooked, or they know how things are done in the kitchen. It's like, maybe you go back and work there for an hour and then come back and sit down and tell me, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you
Exactly.
get that experience, you go, wait, they look busy. It's one of those things, that experience on these things. And going back to the donations, it's like I've again, learning from yourself as a mentor. It's like you need to get these things, especially in this day and age, very much 100% concrete, right? Like you
Yeah.
can't be mucking around, GoFundMe, loose things. It needs to be people recognizing a project and a goal and the
Yeah.
transparency. Again, it's like you think it's lining your pocket. It's like, like if I'm running my two motorcycles, like what do you think's going to happen? Things break down, oil changes. It's like, of course that's going to come out of my pocket. But if I'm being supported, my customization comes bigger, like things grow with, like I'm doing
That's
this
it.
with little to no money because that's how I'm planning for it. I'm not
Yeah.
expecting people to come in and line my pockets. That's the way it should be. And if someone throws you $100, it's like, score. Okay, what
Thank
can I
you.
do with this
Yeah,
now?
you
Right?
can't thank them enough. Exactly.
Yeah,
Like you say,
exactly. So
when
like
I put the thing up,
yeah, I'm planning that way. That's my mission for this, is that it's little to no money, and if people are supporting me with things or money, or again, telling me to go to this event, go to that event, that's same type of support. Like any
yeah,
liking and sharing. I know that sounds silly, but you know how much that is very important
absolutely.
to
Yeah.
things like what we're doing here.
'Cause that's the other funny thing. I'm about 75 people away from that big 1,000 mark on YouTube.
Yeah.
Doesn't automatically mean YouTube's going to send me money every week, but it means that they'll start putting me out, and that they change my algorithm for me, and they
Yeah.
get me more. So apparently, from once you hit the 1,000 mark, getting the next 1,000 comes pretty quick.
100%. And like there's the effort from you and myself and other moderators. It's like, we've had complaints about AI and things
Yeah,
like that. And like, like when people are like, it feels a bit weird because I don't use Facebook that often, but like when people are applying, I'm making sure they're living in Canada,
yeah.
they're active,
And
like
there's a motorcycle in their profile pictures or
yeah,
something, right?
something to do with it, like there's
Or
something
groups in
important
common at
towards it.
least.
I think that's important, like
Yeah.
you see some of these, well made, last month, and it's like that. Well, obviously that's not going in, and they
No.
do get through once in a while. Like, I could be fault myself, but it's important, that it's real people in this group sharing real stuff. People are flagging actual like meets for AI and stuff like that. And I don't understand why you would do something. You can see the address, like if it's made, the picture's made with AI, who cares?
Well, the
Like
picture's made with AI. Yeah, and they're getting
who cares if the picture's made with AI? If there's actual text, put on there, and statements and times and addresses, that's a legitimate place. Like
yeah, man.
you can look it up. I've had to do it, and not even in
I
my
I
own
think
province. So
I think they
because
were
I'm
getting
doing the
mad
research. So
because at some point Facebook just decided to start making posts for us with AI and
yeah,
posting them on our group. And
yeah,
I didn't make it, and I know nobody else made it.
no, yeah,
And
no, I
it's like, where did, and it was asking stupid questions, and you know what I mean. And
just irking some people on. So
it was stupid, and I thought I turned it off because I
yeah,
went through
yeah,
one day, click, 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 and it said AI off. But I think I just turned it off on my timeline,
yeah,
not for the
okay,
group. But then
yeah.
I went through, I found it. It's all taken care of now.
Yeah, no. Again, these things are coming up left, right, and center, and I don't blame people, for calling out scams and being skeptical of things. I think I would actually encourage more of
Hmm.
that, but I encourage, respecting people, and like if you really think it is, maybe you should do a Facebook creeper. That's what I call it.
Right.
Check on their
Look
Facebook.
into it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, like before you cry wolf on it, kind of thing. So
Because like Rob
um,
just had a post up. I put it on our group. They ended up making, I think, around 9 grand for hospice. So their 2 year total is about 17 grand. So hats off to everyone who took
wow.
part in on hospice ride in Huntsville over the long weekend. Man, it was a good job by everybody.
That is fantastic. See, that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Like, I think it's changing, people's perspective. And again, I think we were chatting about that. It's like, you see the big, outlaw groups. You think as an outlaw, scary,
Yeah.
Hell's Angels. They're probably a local group, and they paid for a ride, and you should be celebrating that like a parade or something, because they're raising money. Like that's an amazing thing. You know, they don't have to pay you to ride. They're
That's
paying, you
right.
know, decent money, you know, 20, $30 nowadays is a good chunk of change out of your
Yeah.
pockets. That's just about filling up my bike, $20. So,
And that's about the standard for a poker run or whatever run these days. It's about
and
20
and
bucks,
and
30 bucks.
and you know what, $20, when you start adding that up, because it's, you know, there's all these people riding, that's amazing amount of money, that
Right.
$20 bill going there
It did
is
something.
pretty, it's important. I think,
Yeah.
like, it's pretty, it grows exponentially. Again, I think that's a great thing, changing your idea. And even see me riding with my Batman motorcycle. I hope it's not a snicker, it's a thumbs up, because now, hey man, that guy's driving for the kids, and
Right.
probably attending an event or whatever. Like, that's
And
it's changing the perspective of the motorcyclist, or just how you think on certain aspects.
and
And
and the Sick Kids ride is coming up, I think, this month, isn't it?
it is indeed. So I'm going to be planning for that. Hopefully I can meet some people out there local to our group here. And
Where's that
that
one
would be
on?
good.
Is that the one in Fenland Falls?
I'd have to look at it. I think it's at the end of the month on the
Or
weekend.
maybe it's a ride for sight in Fenland Falls. There's a big
I'm
one
pretty
coming
sure.
up, and that's a nice area to ride around. The Muskokas and the Kawarthas.
Yeah.
Nice,
Oh, the
nice
Kawarthas.
scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice scenery. Actually, we're pretty lucky to live in Canada, right? Because it doesn't matter what province you're in. It doesn't matter where you're riding to. You're gonna find somewhere cool to go to on your motorcycle.
I totally agree. And, like my father and I did the tour over to Montreal last year on our bikes. I was on the 1500 Goldwing last year, and that was an amazing ride. But we found it got really boring and long when you hit those long highways. You're sitting there. I fortunately had cruise control, and
Yeah,
as long as you don't have dickheads flying up behind you, it's pretty boring. So
yeah.
we decided to go off, and I think
Go
it
off
had
on
made
the
us about an hour and a half longer. But I swear to you, Bob, it felt shorter because of the twisties and the, like, going through different villages.
You're having fun,
It was
yeah.
a better experience. So
And things to see and things to do, yeah, man.
yeah, I think we went through Tweed and stuff like that. I'd have to look at a map to name it
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little
It's not
more.
bad up there. There's
Yeah,
lots of little lakes and little towns, and
you just discover things, and that's, I
yeah,
think, half, like, I think the beginning of when I was on the bikes like 4 years ago, my dad and I had the objective, and my friends, pardon me, to find the best apple fritter. That just these dumb
yeah,
objectives, like, no man, you got to go here. They have the best. Oh well, we'll check that out. Like, it was
yeah,
kind of a nice thing.
yeah.
It had no point, but that was it.
Yeah. Hey, head down to St. Jacob's Market. Are you up
Oh,
there? Are you up there? I had a job up in Hensel for about a month there. Don't know why, but anyways, I didn't flesh in with the country folk up there.
okay.
I'm a little rough around the edges, I guess you could say. But they knew that when they interviewed me. You know what I mean? I talk just like I'm talking to you to everybody.
Yeah,
So so
maybe
I
you're
don't
too
know.
honest.
But the one guy wanted to train me, but his training style was talk to you like you're a 4-year-old. Well, that ain't gonna fly with a guy like me.
Oh no, 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 no. Yeah, well, I know
So
not many people, and that's yeah.
right. So he talked to me
Again,
like a 4-year-old, and then I'd go quiet, and then he'd get scared. I don't know.
yeah. Well, maybe that's the biker attitude coming out in you, right? Like,
It's
yeah,
too bad. I know I'd have been fine at the job. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Anything that I can be trained to anything, and now I'm waiting to hear back from Fanshawe College, and I might become an instructor in my trade, and then of course then my fortunes will change again, right? So I've been running a small business for 5 6 years, and it fell off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. It fell off. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I haven't been out of my house all week to do with business, but I've got 2 installs to do on the weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to make my money for the week. But you know what I mean? The house over the course of the spring and the winter, the mortgage payments got away on me, and it is what it is, right? So now I got to start over again in my late 50s. I'm not
Well, it's the constant grind, isn't it?
I'm
And
not exactly looking forward to it. But like I say, I just had a great interview with Fanshawe College, so everything could be changed again by September.
and that's for the motorcycle training.
No, to train my trade, I'm a heating and cooling guy. I'm a gas fitter.
Oh, my bad. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
even better. That's not
yeah,
even that. So it's not even like a seasonal thing. You'd be on that. That'd be very good. Yeah,
yeah.
there you
And
go,
like I
man.
say, I don't know what happened to business in London, but they stopped building houses 10 in advance when the
Mm,
interest rates went up. Now they only build when they sell, and
yeah.
there's enough big companies to do all that work. So all of us little companies are fighting for the scraps,
Yeah,
right?
that sounds like a lot of businesses now in a lot of different industries. So
Right. So I
that's
got
why a
a
lot of people are moving out and getting out of the country, and that's a damn shame because I wish for more private businesses, not these uh,
right.
big companies to come in. And
Oh,
I take a note off of my. I think I mentioned my brother lives in Indonesia, and he's a
yeah,
lucky bugger because he gets to drive his bike year round. And
yeah,
the
yeah.
things he pays a couple grand a year for his beautiful apartment and things like that. And it's one of those things. It's like
All right.
that's like when you look at it, like why like I love Canada, but like when you're thinking that's an average person's rent here, and I saw a couple stats that in Canada there's about 60% to 70% of the population are paid paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought when you think about it. The next 2 months, if something was shaky, natural disaster, political, whatever, anything,
Anything.
a lot of people might be out on the streets if things kept going the way they go. So that's a scary thought. But again, this is why I think you circling
And
back to bikes. It's like I I jump on my bike and try not to think about these things.
that's the thing, right? And that's the other thing. When things started going rough, I sold my bike, not this summer, but last summer. Was it last summer? So I've been 2 summers without a motorcycle under my ass, and it's stressing me out to no end. You know what I mean? I got to go for a ride,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and because of my trade, I got a friend who wants a new furnace AC system, and he's got an FXR Evolution in his garage that he doesn't ride.
Oh,
So I'm trying to fucking, but that means I still got to pay my wholesaler for the furnace and the AC,
yeah. So
and I don't
it's still coming out of your pocket.
and I don't have it. You know what I mean? So until I know I have it, that bike's gonna have to stay in his garage.
Yeah, and you know what? You're bitten every ass. Like every ass cheek. And like with this donation bike, you think, oh, you're lucky. And again, it's like peanuts. And I agreed with the fella, and it's like, this is a donation bike, right? So I'm gonna say I paid $1 for it, and that
Yeah, yeah,
I don't care. I'm paying that cent, a couple cents on it. Like that's the honest bill of sale. Like and there's no blue books, knock on wood right now for motorcycles. And that's the way it should be. And it shouldn't be that you're paying taxes on every
right.
thing that you're doing. You
Tax
buy a new
this, and they
motorcycle, you
turn
pay
around and
taxes on it.
tax
You
that.
sell
Oh
it,
my
you,
God.
the people are paying taxes on it.
Let me give the guys in the chat. We just had Rick. He's a friend of ours. Came in late. Hey Rick. So quick update. This is Liam, and Liam's doing a Batman theme motorcycle and stuff, and he's figuring out how to start charity stuff and do stuff for sick kids. So that's what we started talking about. We wandered because my mind always wanders in interviews. You know that. And JP, thanks for joining us too, JP. I appreciate you being here, bro. And so, anyways, let's go back to the motorcycle and the Batman kit.
Yeah, yeah. So again, it's going to be a bit of a labor of love, like even segueing off, like paying. I have to pay taxes on this bike, and I have to get new batteries. Like this is coming out of my pocket, but it doesn't affect me. It's a complete labor of love, and
Right,
it's going to be again. It's going to be something that the theme people keep asking me. Like, I'm an artist. You're going to paint it, right? You're going to have Batman's face on it. No, 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 no. The theme of it's going to look like it came out of the Bat Cave. Like this thing's going
right.
to look mean. Like, and I think a Honda Goldwing with that big boxer engine looks like it will plow through a wall. And I think that's kind of my Batman in my heart kind of thing.
Well,
So
I hope through the interview and the Facebook group and everything that you at least find a fab guy who can, maybe give you a hand, maybe point you in the right direction, whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah. Again, I'm not looking for handouts. I'm looking for community support. Any kind of donations and things like that is just so generous to me. Like I'm like it. My heart goes out to people. Big shout out to Mike and Ken who did donate that motorcycle to me. I will be posting
Oh,
a
whole
picture with him.
motorcycle. That's
He
so
was in
cool.
Chicago when I picked up the motorcycle, so we had to kind of facilitate it through his buddy, but. Nonetheless, I will be going to visit him and getting some pictures and shake that man's hand because
Absolutely.
stuff like that is important to me. And like, I'm not going to let that one go. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no.
Like, I can't just take it from somebody and not give him a handshake. And I was sending him pictures of what I'm doing and with the concept art that I posted and stuff like that. And he was very much enthusiastic about
I can't dig it up.
following
I've
the
been
project.
trying to dig it up while we've been talking, but like all I can dig up on your Facebook, I think I followed you instead of like friended you. Maybe that's why. I don't know. It says I'm following, but I can't get your art and stuff. That's weird. But
I think
yeah,
on there. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
it's
It's out there. If you go to Biker News Canada, it's posted out there. Just look up my name, Liam Stewart, and you'll
yeah.
find me.
And like I say, Liam's one of the mods, and Rick's a big contributor on our group. He
Awesome.
helps me. He helps me us with the area, like Port Hope and almost over to Peterborough, up and down that way.
Oh, nice. Well, I
So
appreciate your efforts there, Rick. It
he
takes
puts on.
it takes the province to run this thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it's again like it's going to be my own style. A lot of people are supporting me with new ideas and what they would like to see.
Nice.
I can't accommodate everyone. It's going to be the way it's going to be, right? But it's going to be a nice head turner, and I'm going to be posting the progress as I go. My
Nice. Do
father and I,
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my father and
100%
I
do
have
that.
several projects. He actually just got his first bike he had on the road in UK, the same model, the Yamaha Fizzy 50cc. It has pedals on it,
No.
and those are great little bikes. So we have two of those, and we have a couple other little things that we're fixing up on. But my dad and I kind of agree that we're looking forward to really getting this bike fixed up and then getting the
Thanks,
aesthetic.
Rick. Be good, brother.
So,
sorry, Liam. He's
no,
got to go. He's out of the racetrack waiting for the Shannonville, is it? I think east of
is he?
Toronto. He
Oh, is
loves
he?
he loves those races with the super bikes and all that, and the bagger races and all that.
Oh, hell yeah, that's
He goes
awesome.
to all of those. I want to go. I had the people on from Welland last weekend that own the flat track.
Yeah,
I got to go see one of those flat track nights of racing.
yeah. Likewise. Maybe we should plan for that.
Yeah, it looks incredible. They got a big race coming up. I think the end of the month. I'm going to try to make my way down there. Unfortunately, be in my car, but at least I'll get there. I keep saying I'm going to go to this event and that event, and then I look at my car and I look at my motorcycle helmet, and it's like fuck, and I stay home.
You're gonna pull up, and we're going. There's Bob. How do you know he's wearing a motorcycle helmet in his car?
Exactly, man. What a bummer. But life is how it goes. You know what I mean? Just keep
Yeah, man.
following the bouncing ball. That's all we can do.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can get you on the road as soon as possible. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Let's hope I get that email from the college soon saying, "Hey, come on in." That's all I'm waiting for, man.
Yeah. 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 That'd be awesome for you, fans.
Night school, day school, whatever. Just get me in there, coach.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, yeah. Yeah.
So,
No,
so-
I work in a kitchen, but I also have my own business. I do reflexology. So that's
okay.
like a foot massage, but it's like a very ancient practice. I've actually visited Egypt, and in Egypt, there's hieroglyphs, and I've personally actually seen them of like the practice of reflexology and all the benefits to it. So that's
Oh,
one of the
wow.
things that I do, but that's not a plug. It's just a little
Yeah, yeah.
about me. That's what I like to do, and that's my own little business.
Yeah,
Again,
I've
I like
done.
to help people. I have
Yeah.
people from 9 years old all the way up to 93. So it's a huge demographic, and I like being a part of my community. And helping people's health, and
Yeah,
supporting them. So
that's
that's
pretty
kind of
cool.
what I'm about. And again, translates through what I'm doing with my bike. It's I like to support people and local businesses, and I think that's my next step. I might be
Go
asking
go
for
check out some
sponsorship.
swap meets and see if there's any parts that will fit into your motif, right?
Yeah, that's a good plan. I appreciate you saying that, because I think I might be there's a couple of parts out there that I've seen off of Triumph Tigers and the Harley Davidson. I think it's the Electro Glide. There's a couple parts out there I want to see if I could tinker with and
Yeah,
fabricate what
yeah,
I
yeah.
need out of
Because
it.
yeah, you're gonna have
Someone
people.
even mentioned, like, from an old 50s or 60s Cadillac or something, the fins off of the back. Someone said,
Oh,
rip those off. I don't think I'd have the heart to do that to an old Cadillac, but I like the idea, right?
I like the
Maybe,
idea.
maybe you go super retro, Adam West, style.
Yeah.
I don't take myself so seriously. I'm not out there to fight crime or anything.
Oh, the other nice thing is that every winter you can change it. It's just always depending on budget, right?
I might be doing that. So again, it depends on what the support of and how far this goes.
Yeah, man.
It can be as far as support of my local community and province to you never know of real sponsors. I'm driving Hondas. I love Triumphs. I was driving a Triumph last year with my bike. You never know.
Yeah,
So
man.
I'm
Well,
not high hoping. It's just you put it out to the universe,
but
and
you're doing it the common sense way. Start small, keep your expectations where they are, and
yeah.
see where it goes, man.
And people keep saying that to me. It wasn't something I started seeking out, like, just from conversations with folks of like, hey, you should look at a sponsorship, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And and what I'm considering now is, like, there's local businesses that I'm not asking for any money sponsorship, just to put their logo on my bag or something like that, just.
Yeah.
And if they would love to give me some kind of donation, great. That's
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
better. But I just think, of my choosing or whatever. Hey, do you want to sponsor me? No. Okay. No, not a problem. Whatever. But it's again, I'm not asking for anything. I
Yeah.
really want to support people, if people will support me in turn.
In turn, yeah.
You can see the results, and I didn't ask for this stuff. It starts, the universe provides. I know that sounds quite silly, but it's when you start doing this type of charity work, you can really see the good in people.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to pull out more in people, and
And
by
that's
doing
it.
this.
And you got the right mindset. You don't take advantage of the people that are being good to you. And
No, I need to honor them. That's really important. I have several ways of honoring people, which I'll get into at a later date. But with the
yeah,
donations that I've been given, yeah, like, that's
yeah. Well,
important.
you got given a big one. Didn't that guy give you the whole motorcycle?
Yeah, I got a 1984 1200 Gold Wing. Um, Fantastic condition. It's very similar to mine that I have now.
What a
Um,
cool guy, eh?
it's naked bike. He put some good money on it, and he tried to get it going, and the stator went on him. So we have a bit of a project to kind of look at what's going on properly.
Hmm.
But it doesn't matter. Like, it's a great bike. It does run. You put a fresh battery in, it runs. So we'll get it sorted, and
Nice.
I'll learn something out of it, and I get to
Yeah,
hang out with my dad doing that. That's
yeah.
another great thing about motorcycling. I that's majority when I'm driving. My father's usually next to me. I'm not a daddy's boy by any means, but it's a nice thing to have your dad beside you,
That's
having a
cool.
rides, and especially my brother. I haven't had a ride with him for 2 years, because I did visit him in Indonesia, Bob. That is a hell of a ride, and I have to get my full license this year. I'm just came up to my M2 to go get it now. I'm doing that in September,
Yeah.
and I feel like I bloody well deserve my license now, because I didn't die in Indonesia. They drive on the other side of the road, and
Yeah.
there's no rules. I'm not sure if you're a video gamer, but I always say it's
Mm.
Grand Theft Auto, like AI,
I
computers
I rode
controlling the
I rode
cars,
with the
because
I,
I'm
I
not
rode
trying
with
to dig at any Indonesians, but, like, seriously, like, there's some scary shit going on there.
Well, you see them videos, it's a crazy traffic on all them streets, eh?
Yes, sir. And you have to have another set of your cojones on there. And props to my brother who drives his little 250 KTM there. And I had a big boys bike as well. They oh, that's a big bike. I had a 250 Ninja there, and that's the big boy bikes over there. So
Wow.
I think my dad's a big man. He was on a 160 scooter, a little Honda scooter. So that was a bit of a funny thing to see my dad navigate a scooter, because he's a Goldwing man.
Right.
He loves his anything Honda and Goldwing. I did try to get him on the Triumphs. I had two Bonnievilles, and I love a Bonneville. Those are fantastic motorcycles.
Like new style or old style?
Oh, the classic Bonnievilles,
The retro ones.
Like,
Everyone used to
I
make
wish
big.
I had the money for the 60s and 70s. I had a
Didn't they used to chop
2008.
them?
What's that?
They used to chop them in the 60s and 70s and put the big long front ends on them.
Yeah, oh yeah, the Nortons as well, right? The
Yeah,
Commandos
yeah.
being chopped up. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't find too many of those survivors anymore.
No,
But
they're fantastic motorcycles, but you have to ride them and go home and make sure all the bolts are tight again.
yeah, exactly.
So, and that kind of goes for the new Triumphs. I'm sorry to say, that's why I got out of Triumphs. They're beautiful bikes. They sound fantastic. They look fantastic. I had the Speed Triple, the 1050cc, the 3-cylinder, at a fantastic motorcycle. And the Bonnievilles. I had a heart-wrenching story, Bob, with my first Bonneville, my dream Bonneville, all black, naked, beautiful bike. I safetied it on the Friday. I brought it home. I drove it on the Monday. I then filled it up on gas on the Wednesday. My wife wanted to take the car on Saturday, so I was like, oh, I'll take the bike into work. Took the bike into work, and then some prick, I think he was drinking, reversed a tradie van right into my bike and bent the whole frame. It probably dragged that whole bike about a foot and a half. The kickstand bent, everything. It was horrible, Bob. And I barely had that thing for a week. I think I put 200 kilometers on the thing.
Jeez.
And we all complain about insurance, but insurance did me very well. And I was silly, and I went and got even a newer Triumph Bonneville because I was a little butthurt after that one that someone took away my first one. So I had a cream Bonneville after that, and that was a fantastic bike. But you got to pay the bills. So
yeah.
And I don't put down my bikes that I have now. The Goldwings, like you said, you look at them and you go, shit, eh? Like that looks different.
Yeah.
I like that style. I'm falling in love with these bikes now, so I'm happy with what I've got. So again, this is it's been like a journey right now, and I'm just beginning. I'm only 2 years in, and it's hopefully in another 2 years, Bob, we'll be chatting.
We'll have
talking about my plans to go visit the Port Dover and seeing how much I have to pay to get a stand there.
Yeah. So, it's all doable, brother. But anyways, okay. Well, we're hitting about an hour. Was there anything else that you wanted to get into the conversation that I might have missed?
No, I think we ran over a couple things that I wanted to pump out, and I hope I'm not beating the drum too much on some of the things there, but I think it's important to get our points across, right?
Exactly. So, it is. And that's what we're doing this for. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Get out there, get yourself known, and just keep moving forward, right?
Yeah. Again, Bob, I really appreciate your time. You're awesome to chat with. I've chatted with Bob a couple times throughout moderating a Biker News Canada, and this is the first time I had the pleasure to meet with him. And yeah, it's absolute pleasure. I hope I can come and honor that and shake your hand, and you can come check out the Bat Bike.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a plan, my man. I think we'll plan for that. So
right.
Absolute honor. I hope to talk to you soon, real again. So that's awesome, my man.
All right, everyone. That is Liam. Thank you, Liam, for joining us tonight, brother. That was a great time.
Yeah, I really appreciate
it. Thank you. All right, everyone, that's us for our Thursday night interview with Liam Stewart. He's doing the Batman bike. Keep your eyes peeled for him. Also, You want to know what happened back in the 2000s with the club switchover in Ontario? I was in one of those clubs. Buy the book One Night at the Playpen. Put that right in the Amazon search bar and boom. Or get a hold of me on social media, direct messages, and I will send you a signed copy. All right, that's us for tonight. Thanks to everyone who watched. Rick, JP, and Billy Stacks dropping in the chat for me tonight. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we'll be doing all this weekend's biker events across our wonderful country. Till tomorrow, be safe and good night.